What's up, guys? Runner Poker here. Today we're playing 2-5 No Limit Texas Hold'em at the Daytona Beach Racing and Card Club. We're in for $800. Let's run it up. So for our first hand back into the action, we're looking down at the legendary King 4 of Hearts. That's right on the button. There's an under the gun straddle. It's folded to us and we make it 30 to go. Small blind folds, big blind calls, and the straddler calls. So 3 ways in position, we get a board of 9, 7, 5, 2 spades, 1 heart. We got some backdoor draws. It checks to us, and I just checked this one with our backdoor draws. No real reason to push the action here. The turn brings us a little bit closer to our draw with the 10 of hearts. Big blind picks up the aggression and bets 60. Under the gun calls, and I'm just priced in. I'm going to call my flush draw and close the action. The river is an ace of clubs. We brick our draw. We're sitting with king high, but it's checked to us. In this spot, we've got king high. I think there's no real way to win the pot other than bluffing, plus the ace is probably going to look good for us. So I fire 125, and we get 2 folds. The big blind and the under the gun player both fold, and we're scooping the first pot back. Let's keep running it up. All right, next interesting hand of note, we've got ace 7 of spades in the low jack. There's a button straddle. The small blind's raised to 30. Early position player calls. I make the call on the low jack and the button calls. So 4 ways, third to go with about 125 in the middle. We get a board of ace 8, 5. We've got top pair and the backdoor nut spade draw. The small blind actually checks despite being the PFR. Early position player picks it up right where they left off and bets 60. I make the call, the button folds, and then the small blind calls. So 3 ways to a turn. We see the deuce of spades bringing us 1 step closer to the nut flush. Small blind checks, early position player checks, and I'm picking up the aggression right here with top pair and the nut flush draw. I bet 125. Small blind calls, and the EP folds. So heads up to a final card, and it completely bricks out. It's the 3 of hearts. We've got top pair, marginal kicker, small blind checks, and I'm taking this one right to showdown. We check, and we're just good. We show our ace, and it is totally good. We're scooping another big pot here, and we're continuing to just run it up. Before we can even collect all of our chips from the last hand, we're immediately dealt aces the next hand. Go from 1 to 2. Let's go. Under the gun folds. We make it 25 to go, and we get 3 callers, those being the cutoff, the button, and the big blind. So 4 of us. I'm out of position, but I got the big blind before me. 100 in. We get a board of king, deuce, 10. Pretty good. Checks to me, and I bet 80. The button is the only caller, so we're going heads up out of position to a turn, which is the 6 of hearts. I'm going for value here against a king X holding, so I bet 150. The button calls again, so I'm starting to feel like they do have a king X holding. The river is the 9 of hearts. I'd consider this a brick. I just go for ultimate value. I bet 300. They think about it for a little bit, and then ultimately call. We show our aces, and they muck, saying they had a strong king. Let's go. That's a huge pot with aces that we're raking in. Not too much longer after that, we're looking down at jack 8 of hearts in the big blind. There's an under the gun straddle. An early position player makes it 30. The cutoff calls, I call, and the straddler calls. So 4 ways with about 120 in. We see a board of queen, jack 8. That's right, we flop bottom 2 pair. I check, the PFR then checks, and then the cutoff picks up the aggression and bets 100. Now, I'm not really trying to overvalue my bottom 2 pair in a big multi-way pot, so I just make the call, the straddler folds, and then the PFR calls. So 3 of us now to the turn, which is a complete blank. I check to both aggressors, and they both check as well. The river card, with everybody having checked, comes an ace. I check, expecting to have a face a bet on this card for sure, but I think they're also scared of this card, and they check. I think the cutoff then showed an ace, but we're showing our jack 8 for bottom 2 pair and scooping another pot. We're running hot. Let's keep it going. We're up about $1,000 right now, and this is the start of the decline. I've got ace queen of diamonds in the small blind. There's 2 early position limps, and the button made it 20. With all that dead money out there, I'm going for a big raise here, especially being out of position, so I make it 100 to go. The limpers fold, and the button makes the call. So heads up out of position with about 210 in the middle. We get a fantastic board, at least so it seems. Queen 4 deuce, no diamond. We do have top in a big 3-bet pot though, which is fantastic. I decided to bet 60 to go for thin value since I've got most of this board locked up. And then something odd happens. We get raised to 250. You know, in this spot, when we've got most of the board and the range advantage on something like this, and we get raised, we're just behind a lot of the time. Nevertheless, I'm not folding to 1 bet, So I make the call. The turn, though, is another spade. Now, if they were repping the flush draw, they just got there. And I don't really feel like I can beat a lot of hands that are putting pressure on mine. When we check, they bet 200, and it's just such a good price, but I've got pretty much no redraw, and I just let it go. We would later be told that they had pocket kings with the spade, so we made a pretty good fold. Now time for a very odd hand. We've got king jack offsuit in the small blind. There's an under the gun limp, and an early position player has made it 30 to go. Folds all the way back to me, and I make the call, and the limper made the call. So, with 3 of us in there, about 100 in, we're getting a board of king 7-5. We've got top pair at least, that's pretty cool. We check, limper checks, the PFR bets 60. We're stubborn, so both of us call. Still 3 ways to a turn, and that card is a queen. We both check to the PFR, who still again pushes, this time for 100. And we're still both stubborn. So me and the under the gun player call. Final card incoming, and it changes the board quite a bit. It's the 10 of diamonds. We both check, and finally, the PFR gives up, and they check. I show my hand right away, kind of expecting that if everybody else is checking this board, that we're just good. But the under the gun player also turns over king jack offsuit, and the PFR just mucks. So we're chopping this one up. For this next hand, we're looking down at my favorite hand in the game. That's right, the one, the only jack 10 of hearts in the high jack. There's a button straddle, under the gun calls. I'm not letting this stand. I make it 30 to go. And then the cutoff 3-bets us to 85. Folds back around to me, and this is kind of a small 3-bet, so I'm definitely defending here. I make the call, and we're going heads up, out of position to a flop. That comes 7-6-3 with 1 heart. All right, that's something to work with. We got some backdoor draws. We check. And they actually check back. The turn, bink, jack of spades, we made top pair. Let's go, that's what I'm talking about. It's not one of the nutted backdoor draws we were looking to hit, but hey, it's top pair. We check though, and they still check back. So on this river, the complete blank, I'm going for some thin value. I bet 50 to try to get an ace-x holding to call me, and we get snap called by pocket kings. They were trapping pocket kings all the way down this far, man. I don't know, I think we got off pretty lucky there, lost the minimum. I'm pretty grateful. At this point in the night, we've been definitely donking off some money, losing some hands. Our table's getting short-handed. There's only about 5 of us left. And you know, when you're starting to get a little out of it, you play different. And that's definitely true for me. I've been trying to work on it, but it's hard. For this hand, we're on the button with queen 10 offsuit. There's folds all the way to me. We raised it up to $15. Both of the blinds call. So we're going 3 ways in position, 45 into a board that comes ace, king, 9. Checks to me, and honestly, I probably should just be c-betting here short-handed, but like I said, we're playing a little, you know, we were up money, then lost it. So I decided to just take the free card. Doesn't really matter though, because we just bink the nuts on the turn. That's what I'm talking about, let's go. Even better, after the small blind checks, the big blind comes out and bets 20. Now in this spot, I decided to just call to see if I can try to get the small blind to stay in too, which they do. River card is a complete blank. We've still got the best hand possible, the nuts. Let's go. Small blind checks, big blind bets 50, and I'm raising here for sure, raising it up to 150. In hindsight, probably could go a little bit bigger. Small blind lets it go immediately, and the big blind almost snap calls. They said they underplayed their hand. They said they flopped 2 pair with ace 9. That doesn't matter. We've got the nuts, and we're scooping in this disguised pot with the nuts. For our final hand of note from the session, right before the table broke, we're only 4-handed now. We've got pocket 10s in the cutoff, which is effectively under the gun since we're only playing 4-handed. But I'm making it 15 to go, and then the button then 3-bets us again to 40. Another small 3-bet, kind of odd. Blinds fold, and in a short-handed structure, I probably should just be 4-betting here, but I decided to take the more passive line and just call. So heads up, out of position with 85 in, and we get a board of 10, deuce, 5, top set in a 3-bet pot on a dry board. What else can you ask for? We check, they bet 50, and I'm just calling to set the trap since the board is so dry. We have most of the board. If we raise, they're probably just gonna fold. The turn's the 9 of diamonds. I check to keep setting the trap, but they check too. The river's a jack. Doesn't really change my view on the hand at all. I bet 125, but they fold pretty quickly. So running the numbers, after about 5 hours of play, we were up 1,000 at some point, then all the way back down to even, and then up 300 300. I mean, talk about big swings. Up 1,000, down to even, back up 300. Hey, a win's a win. If you enjoyed this video, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, share this video with everyone you know who likes poker vlogs. And hey, unlike you playing poker, it costs no money for you to do so. I've also got some pretty exciting news for all of you. Look what I've got. It's a Runner Poker card protector.
I am very excited to announce our new line of Runner Poker card protectors designed by none other than yours truly. That's right, I designed this card protector myself, and even cooler than having my logo on it, it's fully 3D printed and actually has a chip inside of it. So what I'm going to do for a little bit before they're commercially available is I'm going to be using them as a giveaway. So here is how the giveaway is going to work. When this video reaches precisely 300 likes, the comment that has either the most likes or sub-comments, whichever one is higher, the owner of that account will receive a free complimentary shipping included Runner Poker card protector. To reiterate, 300 likes, most liked comment, or most sub-commented comment gets the win.
Thank you for joining me today at Olino State Park, a little bit out of Gainesville, Florida. It's a beautiful state park. I mean, look at all of this behind me. This is just, it's one of the most beautiful places I've ever been to. And remember, my friends, as always, keep your body healthy, keep your mind healthy. This is Runner Poker. Have a good one.